What is going on, everyone, and welcome to Kart 6T3. My name is Ben, and you most definitely know my name by now, right? I've put out quite a few videos, so one might assume that you have learned my name by now. Real quick, before we even get into the video, if you didn't mind hitting a like on the video, possibly subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. I appreciate every single one of you coming, watching the video, subscribe to the channel, all the things that you do for me so I can make these videos for you. We're still doing good. It's a week out from Christmas, and the weather's still reasonable. It's cold here in New York, obviously. I got the Carhartt sweatshirt on, and the toque. I am pretty close to Canada, so the toque, I have this beanie on. But the temp's all right in here. But I have a whole list of, different topics and everything to discuss, but every time I think, all right, I'm going to do this video next week, somebody brings up a topic, and I think, you know what? I haven't addressed that yet, and that's exactly what happened. One of the viewers was, he brought up clutches, and it just got my mind working like, why don't we talk about clutch performance now and what a clutch is doing that might be hurting the performance of your kart. So, yeah, clutch performance. I wrote it down. Did I? Yeah, I think I spelled performance right. Okay, we're good. So the two things there's going to be numerous things, and I'm thinking I'll probably get some B-roll footage. I'll be rolling here while I'm talking, but I run disc clutches first and foremost. I know some of you Predator guys, some of you clone guys, maybe clones. I don't know, run shoe clutches. Now, different design, same concept. So two of the things, besides having a worn out clutch, maybe I'll address some of that, but two of the things that might be hurting the performance of your clutch and your clutch engagement in particular are this. Your clutch engaging too soon for what your required engagement might be. So when you're engaging too soon, you think, hey, you're locking up the discs. How could this be a bad thing? Well, the sooner you lock up your discs, depending on the curve of your horsepower on your motor, that might not be ideal. All right, so if you engage too soon, what you're going to be doing is locking up. You're going to lock the rear end as it, that's what joins your engine to your rear end, to your rear axle. So you're going to be locking that up sooner. So what's going to happen is you're going to drag the motor's going to pull your momentum down if that happens too soon. So the motor might not be up to RPM. Therefore, when your clutch engages, it may draw the whole cart down. So that's effectively if you ever been on a restart and you've gone and grabbed, a footful of throttle and it doesn't take off and everybody kind of shoots off, part of your problem might be that your engagement is too low. Now, is it going to wear out your clutch? Probably not. Matter of fact, it's going to do the opposite. It's those shoes on that shoe clutch or the discs, they're going to lock up sooner. They're not going to rub together. They're not going to wear out. This is a good thing for, wearing out. But performance-wise, you need those to move just a little bit. You need them to come in at optimal RPM, or else it's going to hurt your takeoff. It's going to hurt your, getting off a corner. Anytime you jump out of the throttle, you come into the corner, you take your set, you pick up the throttle. If that clutch is engaging too soon, it's going to draw the whole momentum of the cart down because the engine isn't, you've jumped out of the gas, so RPMs have come down, you get back in, they're not up high enough for it to engage and take up off the corner. So there's that. Secondly would be too high of engagement. This is allowing the discs or the shoes, I'll explain that in a second. So the discs, if you raise the engagement too high, say, I don't know what what a typical engagement for a 4-stroke, a clone or a Predator is. I don't know, 3,200? It beats me. So say it is 3,200 for just naming a number's sake, and say you have it come in at 4,000. You're making those discs slip. They're not connecting enough, so they're just barely touching. And what that's going to do is not only wear out the surface of the discs, but it's going to create a bunch of heat. and it's going to wear those discs out quicker, and your motor's going to start to over rev, and it doesn't want to move forward. So you've got a foot full of throttle again, and it just doesn't seem to be taking off. You can hear your engine moving, but it's not there. So clutch maintenance is a big deal. Now on a shoe clutch, all right. So there's springs inside the shoe clutch, and as momentum, centrifugal force goes, those springs only have so much tension. So we'll say this is a shoe, this is a shoe. So as the tension, this spins, it's going to spin, and it's going to allow those to do this and engage with the outside of the clutch. Was it the hub? I would assume it's the hub on those. Or is the hub the center? The basket, I'm sorry. The basket. It's gonna allow those shoes to come out and hit the basket. So if your springs aren't correct, if your springs are too loose, they're gonna engage too quickly, and that's gonna cause what I explained first. It's gonna and bring that whole motor down, bring the whole cart down. Or if they're too tight, you got a tons of RPM, and they're just coming out. They're just starting to engage. They're just starting to hit the basket and not quite engaging, causing that material to wear off, and your takeoff just isn't going to be there. So those are two things that you're going to want to pay attention to. Whatever your motor builder or whomever dictates what the optimum RPM is for your clutch, you're going to want to do that. Now, maintenance wise, this is definitely something. If you need shoes, don't ignore it. If you need to put new springs in your shoe clutch, please don't ignore it. These things are going to, you can spend all the time you want on scaling and tires and all this. If you do not have your drivetrain lined up to where you're getting max power at all times, you're going to suffer. You're going to lose races. You're going to be frustrated. Why won't this thing get out of its own way? Clutch maintenance is imperative. Every race I get done, I run opens and KTs. I know it's different than what most of you guys are on, but every race I take my clutch off, I inspect it, I look at it, I take it off, I clean the bearings, I spray everything out, I clean out the basket bearings, I clean out I believe they're called the throwout bearings, the thin layered bearings, I clean those off, they get a new layer of lubricant, and then put back together, but I inspect the disc, make sure the discs are not too far away. There's feeler gauges for that on your disc clutch. Whatever your, Buller, for instance, I believe. Oh, it's been a while. I run the Gator clutches now. Buller used to be 30 thousandths to 55 thousandths. If you go beyond 55 thousandths air gap on your clutch, you're looking to nuke a clutch. Please don't do that. Replace either your clutch sticks, which are usually what wear out the fastest, or your floaters. You can go to a thicker floater to take up that gap. It's another video I hope to do in the future. But, clutch maintenance is key. Being on top of it, it's one of the things. It's one thing to spend all the money on your engine, all the money on tchassis, tires, and this and that. But the thing that causes the power to be delivered to the cart is going to be your clutch. And you need to maintain that thing. You need to pay attention to if it's coming in correctly and whether or not any parts need to be repaired. And hey, it is winter. Most of us, at least up north here, we're not racing. So it's a good time to do maintenance. It's a good time to take a look at those things. So I thought this would be a pretty good subject to bring to you guys. Like I said, next week is Christmas. It's Sunday. I'll probably just drop a video. Maybe you're sitting around with family, you get done opening presents, or however you celebrate the holidays with your family, and maybe you want to watch a little Kart 6T3. So I'll probably end up doing a video. I don't know what it's on yet. I'll go through my list and pick one of those, but this kind of popped into my head like, hey, I'm gonna do a video on that today. So again, I really do appreciate every single one of you guys coming over. Are you over here? Coming. All right. Been a long day. Appreciate every single one of you coming by and watching my videos, and I'll catch you next week. Later.